Hey guys, Slime Beast here again. This is a unfortunate update about the Creepypasta Field Guide. As you know, or may know, I started the Creepypasta Field Guide Kickstarter a while back, and it was to create a book, basically as a field guide for Creepypasta. But yeah, one of the rewards, one of the backer rewards, was a physical copy of the Creepypasta Field Guide, printed like a comic book. And what I was going to do was have this book printed up in comic book format by a publisher known as Ka-Blam. Now, Ka-Blam is a company that I had heard a lot of in the past, heard a lot about them. Basically, it was like, if you need to print your comics off and have them print on demand, go through Ka-Blam, it's blah, 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 blah. And so I kind of saved them in the back of my head, saw some advertisements for them, saved that idea over the years, and when this came up, I was like, that's perfect. I can do the Creepypasta Field Guide as a comic book through Ka-Blam. Signed up with the site, talked to them, tried to figure out their process. Um, it's kind of a strange process. I think what I'll do is I'll just show you what I've been dealing with. Okay, so here is Ka-Blam's message center. The message center is where you talk to employees of Ka-Blam about your order and ask them questions and try to get information back and forth with them. Let's just scroll down really quick through this. Do you notice this big wall of text here? This big wall of text is every message that we've sent back and forth. No real differentiation between messages, like there's no header saying, which messages are which thread is which. It just is numbered 1 through 4 with small numbers, and all in the same font and all in the same text, color, everything just all the same, like a big wall of confusion. So as discussions go on, it becomes harder and harder to figure out what's going on and where you are in the conversation. For anybody wondering, these messages are in double reverse order. What does double reverse order mean? That means that the newest discussion is at the bottom. Okay, the newest discussion is at the bottom, but the newest message in that discussion is at the top of that message set. So new is not at the top, new is at the bottom, so it's sort of reverse. And then it reverses itself again by having the new message in the thread at the top of the thread at the bottom. It's fucking confusing. It's super fucking confusing. They have a file system where you have to upload your files. It's not really expressly said how or what you're supposed to fucking do there. Different things like that. My items is who knows what. My invoices, they invoice you. Basically what you do is, let's look at pricing here. You put through an order, and you fill out the form, the name of comic, what size, different things like that. You fill out a form, and it gives you a general price for the books. And then they give you an invoice with the shipping amount. And you just kind of have to upload your files before they give you the invoice, and it's just a very strange process. When I was going through this, I uploaded the files, and I uploaded the files a couple times because it was hard figuring out their formatting and what they wanted for different things. So I uploaded the files a couple times trying to figure out what they wanted, and one of their customer service people said to me, "Oh, you're going to need to buy more pages in your book." And I was like, why? It's the right amount of pages. And then someone else came in, a different customer service person, and said, yeah, I don't know why he was trying to get you to buy more pages. It's fine the way it is. So I'm like, what? Your company just tried to get me to buy more pages for no reason? To upsell me and get me to pay more? I don't understand. I didn't say that to them. I just kind of accepted it and moved on. But, thinking about it, I was like, why did the first person I talked to say, you have to pay us more for more pages and you have to add pages to your book? I don't understand what that means. It seemed like somebody trying to just scam me or something, and when I said, no, I don't understand that, it's the right amount of pages, then someone else came in and said, yeah, it is, okay, let's move on. Like, what was that little trick there? I don't understand. But, it just seemed sketchy to me. I don't know whether somebody didn't know their job, didn't know what they were talking about or what, but it seemed like a red flag. I went ahead anyway. Ordered some books. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of trouble. As you can see, in the message center by how many messages we had to go back and forth on. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of trouble. I basically didn't know what the hell was going on. And I had to keep saying, I'm really sorry, I'm probably stupid, but what am I supposed to do with this, that, and the other thing? And, just was poorly explained. But I kind of put it on myself. And, I eventually ordered some test copies of the book to make sure they were of good quality. I got the test copies shipped to me, and one of them had a folded over cover. It had, like, the corner creased and folded over, because whoever folded, or whoever packed it, didn't make sure they were packing it correctly, and they just wrapped cardboard around it and bent the cover over. So that's your comic book printing provider, with people who collect comic books and people who find it important, what the quality of a comic book is. They will just fold over your cover when they're shipping it and not give a fuck. Didn't complain about that. I didn't bring that up to them because I figured, well, I'm going to be shipping like one comic to each person who backed on Kickstarter, and if there are any problems with theirs, I'll address it. But, one folded over cover doesn't mean that the whole thing's going to be bad, so I just moved on with it. They asked me for the addresses of the people who are getting the comics, the backers who are getting the print comics. So I said, I have a text file of it. What do I need to send? They said, you have to send a Microsoft Excel file, one of these formats, and one of them being Microsoft Excel. So it had to be a spreadsheet. So I made a spreadsheet, and I emailed it to the person I had to email it to. Keep in mind, they have a file upload system on their site where you're supposed to upload files, but for some reason when it came to the addresses, they said that's a special case where you have to email it to Barry. That's what Jen, told me. So I leave their site, I leave their file upload system, I leave everything behind, and I go to my email, and I specially email the file to Barry. Creepypasta Field Guide Kickstarter Backers.xlsx, which is a spreadsheet file for Microsoft Excel. And yeah, I email it to Barry specifically. Barry never answers me. For like 3 days, 4 days here, Barry just doesn't answer. So I don't get an answer from Barry. I'm kind of waiting around. Time is going on and on here as all of this is happening, where I'm trying to figure out what exactly they want from me, and I'm going back and forth with them. Time is passing. Time is passing on what's happening here. So, backers are not getting what they need. So yeah, he just doesn't respond. I came to find out later that he put through a new invoice for me that I was supposed to pay, but I was never notified that there was a new invoice, so I didn't know it was there to be paid. They just put it through. And they put it through for the wrong amount of books, so I couldn't even pay it anyway, because it was for the wrong number of books, for the amount of people I sent them. So they put through an invoice with the wrong number of books. They didn't notify me that they had put through an invoice, and they didn't even respond to me in email or on the site or anything. Didn't even tell me that was the case. So I bring all this up, and what does this person say to me? This person Jen. I say that I didn't get the copies I didn't get the response that I needed. I can't even fucking find it here. Let me just... It's so hard to get through this goddamn thing. Okay. So Jen says to me, "Ugh." This is very professional, by the way. Very professional. I say, I didn't hear back from Barry after sending him the Excel file. What gives is basically what I say. And she goes, "Ugh, that wasn't sent a spreadsheet. You just sent him a text file with the addresses." Fucking liar. Right here is the goddamn XLS file I mailed to him on the 27th. And she's lying and saying that I sent a text file. Now, either she's lying or someone lied to her. Maybe Barry told her I sent a text file. But either way, it's a lie. Then she goes, "We can make it work. Submit the order that you have pending." This is where I first heard that I had an order pending, because they didn't notify me. I guess that's for this Kickstarter fulfillment. Good to know that you're guessing. Good to know that the customer service, the people running the company, the people working there are just guessing at what I'm owing and paying. And we'll get shipping figured out and an invoice sent. By the way, it was an invoice that was posted, and it was for like $78 for shipping out the books, shipping the copies and getting them to people. But I would rather refund all of my Kickstarter backers the $300 for the physical copies than pay these people $78 because they're probably just going to screw it up. All these backers probably will get books that are creased and get them late and be told that maybe not even get them. Who knows with this company, because they don't even. I feel like they don't know what the fuck they're doing and they don't care. This is like the laziest thing I've ever seen in terms of like a business interacting with somebody, because this is a business. And it's just this really lackadaisical, who cares kind of discussion, blaming the customer for sending a text file when I did not send a text file. And, all this other stuff that is just so sketchy and so weird about this company. So, yeah, I will be refunding the Kickstarter backers for the Creepypasta Field Guide. I will be refunding people who paid for a physical copy of the book. I'm going to refund them the difference between the backer levels. I think it's going to amount to $300 total. But yeah, I mean, I could go with another print-on-demand company right now, but I don't want to make my backers wait another few months while I try to figure that out. And, what if that falls through? This was the company I had prepared to use. I had talked to them, and so on and so forth. And they fell through, and they are a garbage company that sucks. And I really don't want to put people through me dealing with another print-on-demand company and trying to struggle through that ordeal. I think it's not really fair to waste everybody's time like that while they're waiting. People have already been waiting for their book for all this time. So, yeah. I don't know. It just sucks all around. And I would say never use Ka-Blam. It's ka-blam.com. Never, 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 never use this company. Holy hell. Holy hell are they terrible. We've shipped over 150,000 orders and printed more than 3 million comics. I wonder how many of those were just... I wonder how many of those were happy transactions and how many were people who never used them again. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that when I canceled the order for these books, they did immediately delete my account like a bunch of fucking babies.